And new tonight, using a makeshift ladder, two burglars, they break in through the roof of a family-run business right here in the valley. One of the suspects, there you see on the left, sliding down a beam to get inside that store. Well, the thieves may certainly think they're slick, but one of them left something behind that may lead police right to them.
It was heartbreaking to see our whole lives, every cent that we own, everything, our retirement is all in here. And to see it all just stolen.
Friendly Hobbies owner Brian Ward was stunned when he saw this surveillance video. In just 3 minutes, two thieves stole thousands of dollars worth of high-end remote-controlled cars Wednesday night. Using a makeshift ladder, they got up on the roof and they pulled off a vent. One suspect then, you see on the left here, slid down a beam to get inside and then let his partner in crime right in through the door. Well, they passed up money in the drawer and other expensive drones targeting the popular cars at the store near Rancho and Gowan.
This is a family business. My dad works here, my two brothers. We all own the business. We struggle.
But this family does have two things going their way. The first, these pictures and videos captured by their surveillance cameras are crystal clear. The second, a receipt. It fell out of one of their pockets and has what is believed to be one of the suspects' names on it. And oddly enough, that receipt is from their other Friendly Hobby store in Henderson from just a couple of days ago.
Please, get a job. Do the right thing. Call us. Give us our stuff back. We won't say a thing.
Yeah, well, right now, police are investigating that break-in, and Brian has turned over all of that evidence to investigators. And as you saw there, those pictures pretty clear.
Well, live look at the Las Vegas Strip on this Friday night. We have a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Temperatures expected to warm up.
Yeah, and Dan, if I remember correctly, you're talking about temperatures in the 60s at some point along the way here?
All right, let's not jump the gun there. Maybe we'll get to that in Maine weather. That's still a week down the road. 85 degrees right now here in Las Vegas, nowhere near 60s. Don't worry about that if you don't like that. Not going to happen tonight. That is 1 degree warmer than yesterday, so about the same. Winds are lighter though. Definitely some good news. Should be a nice night out there. Now your winds are going to pick up, not so much during the overnight hours, but tomorrow afternoon you're going to notice the winds picking up, and they're going to get stronger than that, even more so. Temperatures warm as well. We're going to break down that wind forecast and the heat coming up in your 13 first alert forecast.
Dan, thank you. Well, Florence is a tropical storm tonight, but it's still dumping rain on the Carolinas. Some places are under as much as 10 feet of floodwater.
And as things stand right now, the death toll from the disaster is at 5. Now, among the victims, a mother and a baby. They were killed when a tree fell on top of their home. Well, the powerful winds right now, they're also bringing down power lines, leaving more than 500,000 people without electricity tonight. The real problem, though, is the flooding. Researchers, they are navigating dangerous waters to try and save people. The flooding expected to continue well into next week.
Well, looking ahead, a second memorial is planned this weekend for Dalvin Brown. He is the student who was shot and killed outside Canyon Springs High School this week. The memorial is happening Sunday at Canyon Springs. It begins at 7:30 p.m. This comes after dozens showed up to Brown's memorial last night. The teen's killer is still on the run tonight. Well, trust betrayed, families brokenhearted, oversight botched, all involving special needs students who were physically abused by a teaching assistant.
And Darcy Spears now investigates a series of failures that left vulnerable children right in an environment of ongoing abuse.
The sounds of silence accompany a studious atmosphere for Javis and his family, but at school, the silence of staff members masked something sinister for the 8-year-old special needs student.
My teacher, she'd be getting mad at us, and then she'll try to smack us.
Javis mumbles and talks into his fist as he recounts the pain he endured in 3rd grade at the hands of the woman he knew as Ms. Joy, a special programs teaching assistant who'd worked at his school for 3 years.
When she beat us at lunch, she pushed me down to the floor.
Hard to believe, but in August, LaJoy Schwenke pleaded guilty to hurting Javis and 2 other special needs students in his class at Helen Herr Elementary.
First of all, I feel like I didn't protect my grandson in enough time. I was let down. And I don't want him to feel that he can't trust the school or the people there.
On December 6, 2017, school police discovered a pattern of ongoing verbal and physical abuse by LaJoy Schwenke. Officers interviewed 5 Helen Her staff members who'd witnessed the abuse over several months.
Oh yes, it was covered up. I mean, the report says it all.
On various days from October through December, the police report says Schwenke was cussing and screaming at the students in her special needs class. On one day, she threw Javis to the ground and dragged him across the blacktop. On another, she threw her school work keys at Javis as he was entering the classroom and said she wished she had hit him and would have if she had been faster. She reportedly threatened all her students that if they came up on her, they would receive an elbow in the face, and she told another staff member not to leave the students with her because she will choke them out.
No one had said or done anything.
Not until the day police were finally called, when Schwenke hit Javis over the head with a book and later grabbed him, causing him to fall to the ground and hit his head on a wet floor sign in the cafeteria. School surveillance cameras captured the incident, and though the district refused to release the video to us,
You know, it was a cafeteria full of people. It was no way that it could be hid anymore.
that morning when Schwenke went to work, she's quoted by others as saying, "Today looks like a good day to lose my job,"
And she went and harmed not 1, 2, 3 students.
including Rosalind Smith's son.
I'm hurting inside because I'm like, why didn't you tell me that these things were happening?
Like Javis, her son kept silent too about the teaching assistant's abuse.
She made him feel as though he was doing something wrong. She basically put fear in my child as well.
The parents we spoke to believe school staff here at Helen Her Elementary had numerous opportunities to protect their children, but failed to act. I had to call the principal repeatedly, and when we finally did speak, he declined to make any comment at all.
Well, I mean, I think, the buck's got to stop at the school.
Attorney Neil Hyman is working with 2 of the families.
I think the school's got to learn from this, and I think the only way a school learns from this is by incidents like this where people speak up.
LaJoy Schwenke pulled Rosalind's son by the ear, put her hand on his face, and pushed him. She also pushed a 3rd student, causing him to fall and or hit his head on a concrete pole. Schwenke did not return our multiple calls for comment. Police say she initially denied the allegations, then began to cry, admitting some personal issues had been taking a toll on her, and she could feel herself getting more frustrated and needing a break.
And, I have to actually give some kudos to the school police because they do a very thorough investigation and apparently took this matter very seriously.
School police recommended charges of child abuse, saying a person responsible for the safety and welfare of children caused them to suffer unjustifiable pain or mental suffering. Although the DA filed 8 misdemeanor charges of battery and assault, Schwenke cut a deal, pleading guilty to 3 battery charges, 1 for each student. She got no jail time, a 90-day suspended sentence, some community service, anger management counseling, and no contact with minor children.
Basically, it made me lose all respect for the judicial system.
And now both families,
I'm broken inside by it.
must rebuild their trust in the school system.
He has to go to school, but I keep a close eye now that this didn't take place.
No one from the school district would go on camera for this story, saying they're unable to discuss personnel matters. LaJoy Schwenke is no longer a CCSD employee. She resigned in May while her criminal case was pending. Since teacher assistants are not licensed educators in Nevada, the state cannot take any action, but the state is developing a corrective action plan for Helen Her Elementary after the school failed to report the incidents to the state special education department, which they're required to do by law. Darcy Spears, 13 Action News.
Caught on camera, a heroic move. 2 employees disarm a man holding a shotgun.
Completely destroy their family, and we just want to help them out as much as we can.
Remembering Levi, loved ones helping the family of a young boy killed by a suspected drunk driver.
And get ready for Fight Night, the matchup bringing thousands to the Las Vegas Strip this weekend. Some new video out of Albuquerque, New Mexico shows a man disarming a suspect carrying a shotgun. Now take a look here. The suspect trying to steal a truck from a business where the struggle goes on for several minutes until the man's coworker then steps in here. That suspect eventually gave up that shotgun after being hit. Well, tonight, new charges for the woman accused of causing a DUI crash that killed an 8-year-old boy.
The district attorney elevating the charges to murder, calling the suspect reckless.
Such a degree of recklessness that elevates this to an abandoned and malignant and depraved heart. And that's why this is a murder case.
Meantime, the community is coming together to support the family of that young boy, Levi Echenike. 13 Action News reporter Tom George was there and talked with his family about their path forward.
For Levi Echenike, to see him was to know him.
Something as simple as a picture with a smile on it is touching people that have never even met him.
Javier Echenike was lucky enough to be his uncle, and he's quick to tell you the 8-year-old was the pride of his parents.
Levi encompassed all of the great qualities that my brother instilled in him. He encompassed everything.
But that young life cut short, police allege, at the hands of a drunk driver at Eastern and Harmon 2 weeks ago. According to police, Aylin Alderette was going more than 100 miles per hour, T-boning the car Levi and his parents were in. His parents survived, but are facing a long road ahead, along with the heartbreak of losing a son.
When I look into his eyes, and he's broken, and it breaks my heart too.
Their story captivating the community.
Completely destroyed their family, and we just want to help them out as much as we can.
And tonight at Sierra Gold in Henderson, they did just that, hosting a raffle and silent auction to benefit the family. The support overwhelming.
Vegas Strong really means something around here.
But above all, they hope tonight sends a message, that smile of a happy young child, a reminder of the cost of drinking and driving.
Don't live your life recklessly, because the effects that you have, that you create, what you do, has an effect on other people.
Tom George, 13 Action News.
An Arizona man has been arrested for pretending to have Down syndrome and hiring caregivers to bathe him and change his diapers. Caregivers met 31-year-old Paul Anthony Machaca through an app called CareLinks. Now, they were hired to keep him company during the day, change his diapers, and bathe him because he had Down syndrome. One victim says she noticed he was aroused and acted strangely while changing his diaper.
He acted like a child. His whole demeanor was childlike minded, so he would have tantrums, he would talk like a child, he would act like a child.
Well, the victims also warning other caregivers to be careful about who they sign up to care for, especially clients found through apps.
Some scary moments today for students and their parents. Several were sent to the hospital after eating so-called nicotine candy. Well, 7 students got sick after eating nicotine lozenges. Well, this happened in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Now, one of the kids apparently brought them to school and then wanted them to share them with the other kids. Well, one child had 10 pieces and had severe symptoms. And the kids, they all range from ages 9 to 12. Now, all of them, though, expected to be okay.
New tonight, President Donald Trump will be in Las Vegas next week. He's planning to hold a Make America Great Again rally on Thursday. It will be held at the Las Vegas Convention Center at 7 p.m. This is all part of Trump's midterm campaign tour. The event is general admission and the doors open at 4 p.m.
All right, we got a huge fight happening on the Las Vegas Strip this weekend. Of course, boxers Canelo Alvarez and Triple G, they are going toe-to-toe once again tomorrow.
Here is Saul Canelo Alvarez.
All right, there you see it. Fighters weighing in at the T-Mobile Arena tonight. Of course, things got a little physical. Got to sell them tickets, right? Both firefighters started going after each other a little bit. Now, Saturday's fight, of course, is a rematch after last year's fight ended in a split draw. That was pretty unbelievable. The fight begins tomorrow at 5 p.m. So we got the fight, we've got the Greek festival, and we got the NASCAR. Big weekend.
Big weekend. A lot of folks in town.
Yeah, you know, and our weather's looking pretty good. We are going to have some issues with that wind. I want to talk about Florence, though, really quick. Give you an update on that rainfall that is still falling across portions of North Carolina, South Carolina at this time. And we're talking some heavy, heavy rains still falling in places that have received over 25 inches of rainfall so far. So it's really dire out there. Latest on Florence, still a tropical storm. Winds at 60 miles per hour. Gusts are up to about 75. So it is weakening, but slowly. But the storm is also moving very slowly. By tomorrow morning, you can see, well, Sunday morning, stopping this then, still in South Carolina. Sunday morning, over 24 hours away. It's still going to be in the same state. It will weaken to a tropical depression.